Hello and welcome to today's daily news report, as well as ongoing stimulus package information video. If you're a subscribed member of my community, then welcome back. And if you're not, consider subscribing right now so I can keep you up to date on what's going on in Washington, D.C., the next stimulus package, the U.S. economy, money, investing, and much, much more. All right, now I want to talk conspiracy theory or maybe just hypothetical here for a minute, because something about the way the government is behaving, it just doesn't add up, right? They have $40 billion sitting in a bank account to help people behind on rent. Millions are going to be evicted from their home, and landlords can't get access to this money in order to forgive the people that are behind on rent. Which means that the eviction crisis is also going to turn into the landlord sell-off crisis. And guess who's willing and ready to pick up all of these rental properties if landlords want to avoid foreclosure? That's right, Wall Street, investment groups, hedge funds. We are about to witness one of the largest purchases of rental properties in world history, and it's like the U.S. government is helping it happen, right? Now, again, I want to hear from you in the comments. Am I crazy? Am I out in left field? Or does it seem like Congress is helping Wall Street scoop up billions and billions of dollars of rental properties while trying to look good to the American people as if they're helping? Let me know. Because I may be out in left field. Maybe I'm just angry that there's so many people in the comments saying, I need help, I'm behind on my rent, I can't get access to this money, and yet they're dragging their feet on releasing this money. It just seems crazy, right? What is Congress doing? With the flick of a pen, they could change the language and say, this money can go out, and then they can ease the requirements, but nobody seems to care in Congress. Let me know your thoughts, right? All right, now I also want to clarify some misinformation. I've seen at least 2 stimulus check update channels saying that we are getting a 4th and a 5th $1,400 stimulus check. While I wish this were true, there is nothing in writing at this point that would give any kind of indication that that is going to happen. So these titles are being used to get clicks. So please be careful. As soon as there's a stimulus check, you'll hear about it from me, right? So anyway, I saw people writing, why aren't you talking about this? It's because there's nothing to talk about when it comes to a 4th or 5th $1,400 stimulus checks. That's being used to get clicks. All right, now, I'll be honest with you. I am still optimistic that there could be a stimulus check added for lower income, fixed income, or struggling Americans. I don't know what the amount will be. But I am certain 167 million Americans are not going to get a 4th stimulus check. But I do believe about 25 million Americans still need one. And I'm just hoping that the 80 plus members of Congress who have said they'll get one in will have the courage to actually put it forward in the $3.5 trillion stimulus package. Like I keep asking myself, what are you going to spend $3.5 trillion on if it isn't to directly help the people now, right? Like nobody needs help 10 years from now. They need help right now. That's what I want to see from these 80 plus members of Congress who have been saying, oh yeah, we're going to get you a check. We're going to get you a check. All right, now Bernie Sanders, who is heading up the creation of the $3.5 trillion stimulus package, said, it is absolutely imperative that we end the obscenity of some of the wealthiest people in this country and the largest corporations in a given year not paying a nickel in federal income taxes. Now, Sanders hinted, but didn't directly say, that the best stimulus program out there is a job, which echoes when President Ronald Reagan said the best welfare program is a job. So what I believe Sanders was trying to convey is that in the next stimulus package, there is going to be a need for job creation. And as he put it, good paying jobs. Now, he's never defined what a good paying job is, but he has promised to create millions of them in the next stimulus package. Sanders also spent a lot of time talking about green energy and climate change. Sanders then took a stab at Republicans and gave them an uppercut punch by saying, Our budget reconciliation likely won't get one GOP vote. The same Republicans who voted for massive tax breaks for billionaires voted to throw over 30 million people off of health care. They will not provide help for improving the life of working families. Pathetic. Okay. Now that's what he had to say. Now I will say that, yes, Republicans as a party seem to focus on lowering taxes and shrinking government. But what Sanders failed to mention is that the average American family saved about $6,000 in taxes per year because of the 2017 tax breaks that were written into law. So tax cuts have helped the middle class, but they do need to investigate and eliminate some of the tax loopholes that are disproportionately helping the wealthy and not lower income families or middle income families, okay? Now, part of the package Sanders will be reviewing is the $40 billion utility relief program put forward by Representative Tlaib. This program could help people as millions are behind on water and electricity right now. I asked yesterday, which bills are you struggling with most, or which aspect of your finances? And most of you said electric bill, rent or mortgage, and food. Those seem to be the top three. There was lots of answers, but those were the top three. So hopefully this part of the bill is included in the next stimulus package, because I know that there are a lot of people behind on their utility bills right now. By the way, I just want to say thank you guys so much for giving these videos a like. I really, really appreciate it, and I just love bringing you guys the news. All right, now, I have a question from somebody. I hope I say their name right. McCall. McCall from the community says, Stephen, I love your channel, but how come you aren't talking about the petition to get $2,000 checks that has been signed by nearly 3 million people? Do you not believe it will help, or do you not want people to get a check? Thanks for the question, McCall. I have talked about the petition twice in the past, but I haven't covered it recently. No, I don't believe it will help. If I did, I would be talking about it. I also refuse to use that as a title in order to get clicks, okay? I believe the better thing that we could all be doing is flooding the voicemails and inboxes of members of Congress, right? I don't think they care about this petition, right? There's so many petitions out there. And so it's just my personal opinion that it's not going to help, right? Which is why I haven't talked about it, but I have talked about it in the past, right? So I think that we should just be getting on the phone, right? Which I have done. I've called several members of Congress and tried to share ideas before the voicemail beeped. So I hope that answers your question. All right, now lastly, I do want a fourth stimulus check. That was part of your question. I do not believe that 167 million Americans need a check. But I do know that there are a lot of people right now living paycheck to paycheck. They're behind on their bills. They can't afford food. Those people need help, right? And everyone I know that lives around me would accept a $2,000 stimulus check if the government sent it, but I know that they don't need it. But there are a lot of people that need it, right? If you're watching this channel, you're probably one of the 25 million Americans that still needs it, right? That needs that help to avoid falling into poverty, to get caught up on your electric bill, to get caught up with your landlord, to put food on the table because you don't qualify for food stamps, right? Those are the people that I believe need a stimulus check. So I think the best way that we can do this, again, is to everybody just start calling members of Congress, right? That's how they're going to hear your voice. If you want to be heard, then you got to pick up the phone and get your voice heard, right? So hopefully that answers your question, McCall. So yes, I've talked about it. No, I don't believe the petition's going to help. I do think calling members of Congress would help a lot. And I do want people to get a fourth stimulus check. So thank you for the opportunity to answer that question. All right. This morning, Pentagon spokesman John Kirby, was asked about the stranded Americans left in Afghanistan. He said, and I quote, "We have Americans that get stranded in other countries all the time." Wow. Okay. So he completely blew off the fact that the military was ordered to leave hundreds of people behind, or possibly thousands of people behind. Now, why do I say hundreds and thousands? This is a broad range and a huge difference, right? I say that because Secretary of State Blinken himself has said, we have no idea how many Americans are still in Afghanistan. So they don't even know the number, right? So we know that there's at least several hundred, but some people are saying it could be in the thousands. Now, it came out today in several articles that the Afghanistan war was costing the American taxpayer $300 million a day. $300 million a day. When was the last time that Congress asked the American people, hey, do you want us to be spending $300 million a day of your money, your kids' money, your grandchildren's money in order to fight this war? When was the last time? Oh, about 20 years ago. All right. Now, I'll bet it takes America 200 years to pay this money off with all of the money and interest, which means that your children, your children's children, your great-grandchildren, and your great-great-great-grandchildren will be paying on this war for the rest of their lives. And what did this war do? Essentially nothing, right? It did essentially nothing. And now the Taliban has been declared victorious on Wikipedia within 12 hours of the last aircraft leaving the airport. So it's already been declared that we lost, and we've spent $2.6 trillion on this war. Now, honestly, I'm grateful it's over, right? I just hate the way that we exited over the last 2 weeks. And I don't think I'm alone. Over 90 retired generals and admirals have signed a letter demanding that Defense Secretary Lloyd and General Milley resign immediately. Now, I'm sure it won't happen and that the media will move on to another story, but this is what's in the news today. Now, the Taliban celebrated the final U.S. military aircraft departure by shooting off guns in the air and yelling. They then went door to door they felt had betrayed their country and vowed to reinstate Islamic rule where there is no division between religion and state. Now, in the coming days, President Biden will have to decide whether to elect a new head of the Federal Reserve Bank or to keep Jerome Powell. Many believe Powell provided excellent leadership under horrible conditions. However, AOC and some of the other people that she runs around with in Congress are demanding that Biden elect a new Federal Reserve chairman or chairwoman that will focus on climate change and justice. Now, right now, it seems that President Biden is leaning towards Jerome Powell, and that Secretary of Treasury Janet Yellen seems to be pushing Biden towards Jerome Powell as well. All right, now the government of China is creating a new law. Children cannot play video games during the week and will only be allowed to play 1 hour a day on the weekend and maybe 1 hour on a holiday. Government officials say that video games are making kids stupid. Now, I don't know if you knew this, but over in China, kids go to school 10 to 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. There is no break. There is no real weekend, right? The state basically raises their children for them, right? Now, can you see why these kids might want some downtime, let their minds relax, escape reality, right? Don't you just love how the government tries to control our lives? I personally don't, right? All right, now this is my update for today. As I know more, I will definitely come on and share more. Before you go, make sure to sign up on this final day for the $10,000 giveaway. 5 of you are going to get $1,000 and 20 of you are going to get $250. I'll make sure to leave a link below. I'm so excited to give that money away. This is the final day, and I'm trying to line something up for the month of September, but it's moving slower than I want, which is very frustrating for me. But I am not going to give up. I never give up on my community. All right, now before you go, I just want to remind you that you are amazing. I truly believe that, and I appreciate you being in my community, and I'll see you on the next video.